For the last 9 days, I have been pretty stressed about this whole YouTube thing because, for the first time ever, my channel got a copyright strike. Now, was this copyright strike deserved? No. Do I still have this copyright strike? No, I do not. Proving that basically even after all the drama that's gone on in the last couple months and the discussion that at least YouTubers tried to start about where's the fair use, the system is still very much broken. Now, the video in question was my review of South Park Season 19, which I was pretty sure all along qualified as fair use, but this entire process just has a way of planting a seed of doubt in your own knowledge of the system and creating some insecurity with everything, basically wondering that, you know, even though it is fair use, I can state my case with only 500 characters you get to work with, by the way, which is bullshit, but what if they don't rule in my favor and I'm stuck trying to appeal something that I know is within my rights to have created and put online? Not to mention the lack of communication that YouTube actually gives you when you get a copyright strike. I didn't even get an email informing me of this. I only learned because I logged into my account. You get a pop-up informing you of the copyright strike. You have to do the whole copyright school thing. I also didn't get an email letting me know that the copyright strike had been rescinded. It was nice to see the video back online and not showing up in the copyright part of the video manager, but there's no communication other than when you submit the counter notification, them actually letting you know that it's been approved and passed along to the claimant of the copyright claim. Given how much Viacom throughout time has fought YouTube on various issues, my guess would be that they have somebody prowling YouTube for content, basically putting in copyright claims on anything that they think could legitimately possibly claim or use any bit of their copyrighted material, with the hopes that maybe a lot of people won't actually combat the claims, even though they might have a grounds to do so. But this guy's got a communications degree and also saved his textbook from mass media law, so I knew what I was getting into a little bit, and I put in the counter notification, which again is incredibly uncomfortable, having to put out personal information of yourself within this claim to be submitted essentially for legal reasons. But the claim was passed on and the copyright strike was removed, which I'm happy about. But again, it proves that the system is somewhat still very broken, because I'm sure there are countless examples of people that were intimidated by the process. And I think in a lot of ways, that's probably what Viacom is going for here, is to intimidate people out of actually educating themselves and exercising their right to fair use of content for the sake of things like criticism or review or any kind of transformative nature that actually does qualify as fair use. The thing is though, with a company like Viacom going and putting copyright claims, unjustly so a lot of the time, particularly in my case, what's to stop them from doing that? Because as the system is right now, there still is no consequence for them doing so why wouldn't they go and do that? Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people out there that upload content that they think qualifies as fair use, but actually doesn't, as well as some that do just genuinely infringe on copyright. And to that point, I understand that the proof of fair use, that burden does somewhat fall on the shoulders of the content creator. But there's gotta be some other interaction within this whole copyright claims process to where there's some kind of human touch in between that determines, before issuing a copyright strike and before putting an account in bad standing and taking down a video, to possibly just be an intermediary to say, you know what, no, this does qualify as fair use, so before taking this down, we're going to have a little bit of a review process, and as that plays out, we'll determine the final outcome of things, rather than just throwing down the hammer of punishment like YouTube is currently doing. And along with that, as long as the ability is still present to recklessly issue copyright claims, regardless of any consequence for false claims, the system is still very much broken. In the end, this whole ordeal has me upset for 3 big reasons. Firstly, because the system is clearly still broken, and it doesn't seem like YouTube is in any rush to fix it, given all the things that have unfolded in the last couple months, with the where's the fair use, with your movie sucks, with I hate everything, and just everything that's gone on that were high profile instances of abuse of the copyright claim system. To my knowledge, YouTube still hasn't issued any kind of statement or shown any kind of initiative or intention to at least explore the possibilities of improving the system. The second thing that bothers me is that Viacom, of all companies, is the one going and putting an unjustified copyright claim on people's videos, when so much of their Comedy Central brand was built on the backs of fair use with things like The Daily Show, The Colbert Report, The Nightly Show, Tosh.0, and that's not to say that they're not justified to do so with those shows. It is within their right of fair use, and the fact that they seem to be so against other people's right to exercise fair use with their content is absolutely infuriating to me. The third and most troubling thing to me is the constant uneasy feeling, knowing that something you've worked hard to build with a YouTube channel, whether you have a big following or a small one like my own, to know that that can all just be stomped out by a broken copyright system of somebody abusing multiple claims on multiple videos to where you have such a limited appeals process, that is just unnecessarily uncomfortable to content creators, which are essentially the backbone of this entire platform. So while justice may have prevailed in my own personal case, it's still a little bit troublesome to think that there's probably countless other people out there that let this broken system intimidate them and bully them into not fighting for what is within their rights to have done. And again, there are probably plenty of examples of times when people thought something was fair use, but it actually wasn't. And so with that, I would encourage everyone to educate yourselves, learn what you can about fair use. There's so many outlets out there that you can get better acquainted with what it is and what you're entitled to within the bounds of creativity and as a content creator to use snippets of existing copyrighted material for a transformative purpose. If the community as a whole is that much more educated about what does qualify as fair use, as well as avoiding actual copyright infringement, that makes it that much less policing that YouTube has to do on behalf of other copyright holders, and hopefully moving forward allows them to allocate more resources to fixing this broken system, again, for the betterment of the whole community. So I would encourage everyone, educate yourselves about what you can do, but also never stop asking the question until we get answers or until the system is fixed. Don't stop asking, where's the fair use?